another thing I wanted to talk about. People, people always seem to ask for forgiveness, to what seems like to me, and society seems to push it this way. I don't know. However you want to define it, but they always seem to ask the wrong person for forgiveness. Even as a child, you always used to wonder why, when people committed a sin, or some type of infraction to someone or something, or to an idea, what have you, you better ask for God's forgiveness for what you did, you know. Which, I was like, okay, well, you know, alright, well, I guess, you know, he stands for all that is good, and, you know, one shouldn't be a jerk. So, however, it seemed a little tricky to me that, so, God, you know, how powerful he is. Well, he knows everything before it happens. He's everywhere at all times, hears everything at all times, and, you know, knows everything. He is the beginning and the end. He is the Alpha and the Omega. But it seems to me that as people tell you this, they kind of, it seems like, without it being said, what is implied is that God is the beginning and the end, and we are the area that fills in between. And that's why I think everybody always waits for a doomsday and so on and so forth. We have a creation point, but there hasn't been a doomsday yet. So I think it's linked with this Alpha Omega thing that people seem to... It's nothing. People seem to be linking, I think, the Alpha Omega thing with, you know, life and death, really. And, but anyhow, as a child, it just seemed to be odd to me that why would God punish me, though? Why would he punish me for doing something if he already knew I was going to do it? And if it was a bad thing and I go to church and I ask him for his help, how is it that I can still do these bad things? You know, and then have to ask forgiveness for them if he already knew I was going to do them in the first place and he could have stopped it. You know, Lord knows, I don't want to be a jerk. You know, that's nobody's dream as a kid. You know, I want to be a jerk. I want to be an asshole my whole life. You know, nobody wants that. They might want revenge, but, you know, the title, biggest jerk in the world, is not that. But I wondered that, and, you know, as I looked and searched, and, you know, I had, you know, well, God gives you free will. Yeah, you have the choice of doing this or that. However, if you do what might not be in your best interest, you're going to have to pay. Yeah, there's a surcharge on lateness and, you know, delinquent accounts. Yeah, you have to pay. One way or another, you're going to pay. And I just wondered, but why would he punish if he gives you the choice? Then if you have to choose right to not get punished, then that's not a choice. That's do it or else. You know, and that kind of always bothered me. And now, thank God, I've realized that, wait a second, an energy as powerful as the One, the God, the holy spark that begins everything, that's found everywhere in everything, whether you define it through science or spirituality. There is this one divine energy source, particle, whatever you want to call it, that is found everywhere, and it just seems to cause and or create life, and create variation of form, whether it's gas, liquid, solid, or human being. And I think that is God. And an energy like that made the planet so perfect, and how life just happens to live here when the sun passes through seasons and such. This energy that just seems to propagate life, if all it does is seem to propagate life, it would never propagate death. And why would this energy or God ever want me to kill another person due to some, I don't agree with what they thought, and or why would this energy ever judge what direction I grew? You know, that just doesn't make sense to me, and I understand now that God really doesn't. There is no hell. Life is nothing but an experience. If you sit in a room and think to yourself, and you're absolutely alone, there's no one else there, you can still talk to yourself, and that's when you realize that you yourself are all that matters in your life. You are the only observer behind your eyeballs. You're the only observer that sees things behind your eyeballs, that has a voice to say what you see. No one else will ever be inside your body. No one else will ever understand you 100%. Twins get close, but even they have variations. Just seems to me that people make their life a lot harder than it needs to be. I think people need to just sit back, stop listening to their friends, family, as well-intentioned as they might be. As the saying goes, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Stop listening to your friends. Stop listening to your family. Listen to you. Listen to the voice that you hear in your head as you're falling asleep at night, as you doze off and you stop thinking as far as you're concerned, and you start breathing, which is a different type of thinking. Did I say breathing or dreaming? Sorry. The two go hand in hand.